I'm Mr. Dr. Professor Thomas. I'll write that on the board in case you don't mind or that. Alright, that is my name. Do not forget it. Today we're going to be doing some not-so-drunk history where we're talking about roads. Now, first thing you might ask me is, why do we care about roads? Well, that's a good question. Why do we care about roads? Well, first, if you have your driver's license, you're probably driving on a road, and if you don't know where you're going, it's probably bad because you will get lost and you'll be sad. So, I would hope that you would know where you're going, but in case if you don't, you can learn some stuff about roads, and then you'll be happy. Another thing is if you pay taxes on that stuff, because if you have a job, you have money, and you need to pay taxes, so it's best to know which toilet that you're flushing your money down, towards PennDOT, so that, you can, go complain to them sometime about, they're building these dumb roads now. So let's go a little bit of a history. So I'm going to put this into 3 parts. So we have...
That's 2, Thomas.
1, 2, 3. Are you happy?
Yes.
Look at the open-ended one part.
Okay.
Take your constructive criticism.
Alright, so we're going to divide the history of roads into 3 parts. So the first part is before the Europeans. So we don't have that much time to write before Euros. Alright, so basically, there were always Americans here in America.
What do you mean?
My
life is a lie.
Yes, your life is a lie now. Because, technically, you could call the people who were native to their Americans, and we call them Native Americans, but they weren't really Americans, like we think of Americans right now. So they lived here, and they had their own roads. Now, you might think, well, roads are for cars, aren't they? Well, they don't have to be, because they have little trails that they would make. So let's say we have a nice little village here, so a nice little house. Maybe 2, because...
Mr. Dr. Professor Thomas, we can't see it. Your head's in the way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Every house needs a friend. We got 2 houses there. That's our village. And we have some places they might want to go. Like, they might have a hunting place. So they've got some deer here. That's our deer. We got wild animal. Maybe a deer, maybe it's not. And they want to get to them. So they make a trail. Those are basically roads. So they build one. And then they might want to go to the religious site doing whatever. So I don't know what they look like, so that's what they look like. So you're going to build a road there. Rivers were once roads. So you might be confused because aren't roads supposed to be paved? Aren't they supposed to be on the ground? You can't walk on a river unless you're Jesus. So how are they roads? So you see, neat thing about rivers is that they flow from uphill to downhill because gravity. So flow from this big mountain here, mountain, and then people like to build their villages on or near rivers because that's a good source of water. So you might have a little stream coming in here. Make that different than a road. A little stream. So people like to build them along roads. So you might find more villages down here. So show some little more houses. Village 2. And then they might take a boat all the way down here, and that's faster and easier.
How do they get back?
You let the current take you down the river.
How do they get back?
What?
How do they get back?
They can walk, or they just take it upriver.
How?
That's
On a boat.
But the river only goes one way. It's a one-way road, Thomas.
You can still go upstream of river, it's just hard. Tangent. So I was thinking about people, why can you only build one kind of thing for railroad? Because that's racist, whatever. I'm going to tell you an instance where there's a road and a railroad on the same road. So this is Alaska, middle of nowhere. There's this weird town where they all live in an apartment building. True story, they all do. It's just because it's so fun in Alaska, no one wants to go outside. So they live in this big apartment building. And the only way to get there is you have to go through a tunnel, through a mountain, and it also has the town's only railroad in it. So...
Dr. Professor Thomas, why are you screaming?
Because I'm teaching you something. Shut up.
It
The information
emphasizes
isn't loud
importance.
enough, you won't take it in your
It
brain.
emphasizes importance.
Yeah, the emphasis is important. So, yeah, road and a highway. So, there, road. And highway too.
That's segregation.
No, they're literally on the same
Back
right of
west.
way. Alright, now let's talk about the last part of road history, which is basically the turn of the century, as in turn of the 20th century to about today. So, remember when I was talking about how all the roads out west are like god awful? Well, you
No.
see a guy named Dwight Eisenhower. I don't feel like spelling his whole name, but we like to call him Ike because everyone likes Ike. It's just a true fact. Everyone likes it. So he was going along across the country in like Iowa or other places people don't care about in a car. So he's going in his car, across some terrible roads, like
You mean PA roads?
worse. That's how bad they are.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the potholes here had potholes. It was just mud and then like terrible. So after the war, after he was being, super cool war general person, and the president too. When he was the president, what he did was he made his own system of roads. He called them the Interstates. So let's draw them from America.
Why do you call them the Interstates?
Because they go between the states. So
Why does America look like a deformed chicken nugget?
It's a sheep.
So here is America, and it's to scale, and it is accurate to how it really looks. So basically, when the Interstates came along, they weren't the only system of roads that existed, because we had what were called the U.S. routes, which were built in the 20s, and they would go to their own little places. So,
Doctor, Professor, whatever your name is.
yes,
Where does the yellow brick road fit into this?
there's not really a yellow brick road.
You sure?
Sorry, yeah, it's an odd. Which
Sure
is a
that's
different
not the
country.
fourth section?
Shut up! I'm explaining.
My feelings.
Four quarters. Anyway, so these roads were basically just normal roads. They weren't freeways where you didn't have to deal with any dumb traffic lights. So let's draw a little traffic light on the interstates so we know there's no traffic lights on them. No traffic lights on the interstates, and that makes you go faster. And if you can go faster, that makes more money for you.
It also makes car crashes more exciting.
Yeah, more exciting too.
Germany.
So that's the advantage with the interstates. And by the 50s, when they were building the interstates, they realized that they could use that advantage to their advantage by, that sweet military money, because we had to beat the Soviets, with making nukes and stuff. And all the other fun things that we enjoy are because of those interstates.
What about Hawaii?
Hawaii. You see, Hawaii is still a part of America. Let's draw some Hawaii islands.
It's not down there, though.
On the map it is.
That's not
When you
Hawaii.
just have a little box that says it's down there. That's a terrible box.
what
But
Hawaii
That's a
looks
terrible
like.
Hawaii.
this isn't what
Holy
America looks like either, but shut up.
I'm pretty sure
Why did
Hawaii
he get
only
it?
has 4 islands.
There's more than 4 islands in Hawaii. Alright, many people ask me why there are interstates in Hawaii.
Why?
Because, they only go into one state, which is Hawaii. Well, now you see, because the military's got fancy little things here, so let's draw a bigger version of Hawaii sound here. So we have military base here and there and there and there. And we need highways to link them up. But, we need, interstate highways to link them up because they're safer and more efficient because there are big mountains there and they're hard to go through. So they built special interstates to go across them. But that still begs the question, why are they interstate? This is because they're given that sweet federal money to build those roads, part of the system called the interstate system. And most of the other interstates, which are here in normal America, they go between 2 or more states, but literally impossible to do that here, so cry about it.
But what if we just make one of the islands a different state?
The Congress wouldn't like that.
Back in the
It's
closet.
okay, Landis, you can come out. It's safe here.
Okay, you're making it weird.